Hello everybody, my name is Benji, and welcome back to Satisfactory. And I'm actually currently recording this video after we've done a whole bunch of stuff. So it's really weird looking at the base in a state that it was a couple days ago, instead of as it was after stream on Monday night. So I'm recording this on Tuesday. Or is it Tuesday? Yeah, I'm recording this on Tuesday. We did 3 streams over the weekend. This is going to be recapping the stream that I did on Saturday and the stream that I did on Sunday. So we're going to ignore that ma'am because it literally does not matter. You can see I loaded in day 7 here at 47 hours. But we have a day 8 save at 51 hours. So yeah, that's pretty neat. So anyway, what did we do over the course of the weekend? Well, you can kind of see that we went through phase 2. So we are in fact in phase 3. So we have oil production, we have trains. That's like the biggest thing, is we have trains. We've got refineries, packagers, oil extractors, all of that really good fun stuff. Super duper nice to have. And then we have a whole bunch of other stuff. So I think one of the main things that I did between streams on those days are the biomass facility. The biomass facility sorts all of our biomass, so leaves, wood, and mycelia, and turn it into solid biomass, which we will then be turning into liquid biofuel for my jetpack, which we now have a jetpack, so that's very nice. Next up is the Sommersloop sorting. So the not Sommersloop, it is Sommersloop powered, but the slug sorting. So what happens here is I put all of my slugs in this container. They go into the Sommersloop machines so that I get more power shards. Instead of a 1-to-1, it's a 1-to-2. Instead of a 1-to-2, it's a 1-to-4. And instead of 1-to-5, it's a 1-to-10 for the purple. And that gives me all of these juicy guys over here. And then, of course, other than that, it's really just trains. So over here, we have our main train design. And this thing is a bit of a beast, I'm not gonna lie. It's a bit confusing, even to me at this moment in time. But I think with time, it will grow on us, and it will be absolutely perfect. So we have 2 lines. And we have a couple of different blueprints that we can cycle through. We've got the train straightaway with no support, the train up and down, which goes both ways, and then the train straight with a support for free building. So this is the one that I use when I go in a straight line, like you can see over there. This is the one that I'll use when I have to just continuously be going up for a long time. I'll just put these like together a bunch of times. And we'll probably end up using that a couple of different places. And then this one is just kind of for like freeform stuff when I'm not actually building on a grid. So like one of the things I'm going to do between the next stream, so the next recap videos stream and the subsequent stream after that, between 8 and 9, is going to be wrapping this left output all the way around this mountain like the truck into the distance there, into the sunset, in order to go get some materials. So that's mainly what this one is going to end up being used for, because I don't really need it to be straight through all of this. It can be a little windy and a little curvy, and, you know, that's fine. But we have 2 main theories here. Theory number 1 is the input. So these are a distance of 2 foundations apart from one another, so it's like the 4th foundation apart from one another. Has the right-hand drive going out and right-hand drive coming in. Then if the train goes to this first station, it has a waiting bay, so we can have multiple trains on the thing at the same time. And there will end up being a signal right here to block that. That way the second train is waiting here while this one is unloading. Then the train will unload and join back into the main rail line. We did test this, no collision will happen here, and that happens twice on each. So we have 2 stations for 4 trains going together. Then we have the train spiral. So trains on this side will go around the spiral and up the train tracks in order to get to the subsequent floor. Just around and around and around they go. And then, I'm actually on the wrong one. But round and around and around they go, all the way up to here. And then they will go and split here to run along parallel. That way it can loop into the station facing the opposite direction. And then every single one of these stations is going to be facing in this opposite direction for the remainder of this big tower. Also, yeah, phase 2 space elevator. So these trains on the bottom floor face that way. These trains on the next floors and forevermore will be facing this way. Completely and entirely this way. Which lets this input be consistent between each of the floors with the train spiral going up and up and up and up and up and up and up. Then for the outputs, we've got the one output, which is going to come from the back train line, coming along the very, very far edge here. That joins in with the train spiral and goes down. And then we also have this one, which comes up onto this foundation, and then joins the spiral yet again, going down, 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 down. And then nice and perfectly, we have our train spiral, which is phenomenal. And then every single train that has a purpose will have a station. I will end up having, like, my own personal station, kind of splitting off of this. That way I can just, like, tell it to take me home and not interfere with anything else. And I don't know exactly where that's going to go just yet. Maybe somewhere in between or on the bottom floor or something. But we'll figure that out in due time. So the main thing that happened in Stream 6, because this is recapping 6 and 7, was finishing Phase 2. So I guess I should go show that off. Should have done that first, but that's okay. Things are a little jumbled, and that's not that big of a deal. So yeah, we finished Phase 2 by making the versatile frameworks and the automated wiring, and then we put them into boxes in Stream 7 when we got oil stuff going. So what happens here is we've got steel ingots coming in to make beams and pipes. The beams go off to the versatile framework. The pipes go into the modular frames. We have iron here for screws and plates, making reinforced iron plates. And then the reinforced iron plates go to make the modular frames. Modular frames and steel beams come together with Sommer sloops to make versatile frameworks very cheaply. Kind of similarly, we have steel ingots coming in and making pipes, quick wire, or caterium, making quick wire. Those make stators, which go off to the automated wiring. Then we have 100 copper making 200 wire, 200 wire making 100 cable, and then the cable and the stators come together to make Sommer slooped automated wiring, which is absolutely fantastic. And then those both have little inputs that they go off to the space elevator for, but of course we got that done. So after that, we just went around the entirety of this upper portion of the map here, exploring, finding things, doing all kinds of really cool stuff, and we eventually got to the point where we were, good to go in terms of hard drives, researching hard drives, and getting a bunch of really good alternate recipes for basic oil production. And the hope was to actually get to oil production in Stream 7, but Stream 7 ended up being all about trains. So Stream 6 ends with trains, Stream 7 begins with this massive interchange right here. Technically it began with the spiral, but begins with this massive interchange. So trains in Satisfactory are a lot different than trains in something like, say, Factorio. Because in Factorio, you were restricted to 2 dimensions, so everything requires your signals. You've got chain signals that read the signal ahead of it and behave in the same way. Block signals, which work the same way as block signals in Satisfactory, where they just block off the section of track into these colored blocks, and will disable if there's a train within any given block, as well as controlling directionality. However, Satisfactory doesn't have chain signals, it has path signals, and path signals at the entrance of a junction like this will reserve a path for a train so long as there are no other trains interfering with that path, aka no other train paths interfering with that path, or no other trains interfering with that path. So that is, suffice to say, that we can have, through the three-dimensional stuff that I've done here, we can have multiple trains in this intersection at the same time with zero worries whatsoever. So case number one, if we come into an intersection here and we go to the right, we just go to the right and we don't interfere with anything except for other trains coming into this, which is inevitable. That happens no matter what you do. Kind of same thing with the left turn. The left turn only interferes with 3 other tracks in this case, which are left turns from that side. And then, actually, I think it's just 2. Yeah, left turns coming from that direction, left turns coming from that direction and going home. And then, of course, the straightaway. If there's other things coming into this part of the tracking going that way, obviously, we're not going to be able to do that, and that is completely and entirely, understandable, not avoidable in any way, at least in any way that's not entirely cumbersome, because this is a pretty compact 4-way intersection for this level of efficiency. And then for the straightaways actually don't interfere with anything except for the ones that cause problems in every case, which is if there's something making a right, or making a left and going in the same direction, of course this straightaway is going to cause that problem. But because of our verticality, we don't have to worry about that in any other case. So it's really only the left-hand turns that cause any issues. And if I had spent maybe a little bit more time, I might have been able to figure out a way to do this left-hand turn in such a way that it wouldn't interfere. But that's not exactly something that I'm extremely concerned with right now. If we notice, a lot of extreme throughput issues happening, then of course we're gonna be able to fix that in retrospect. But for now, this is phenomenal, this is perfect, this is more than we need. To kind of showcase a point here, if we have a train going to the left from this direction, and a train going straight from that direction, you can see that those 2 paths will never intersect with one another. Additionally, if a train is going straight in this direction, we also don't have that issue. And if a train is going right from this direction, we also don't have that issue. And that is because we have one train going in each one of these directions in a different way that do not intersect with one another in any way whatsoever. The only issue would be here if there were one coming, say, from the left this way instead of from a different direction in this way. Another thing that's pretty easy to note is all of the right-hand turns have no issues, all of the straights have no issues with other straights, and then all of the rights don't have issues with the straights. It's really only the lefts that cause any sort of problem whatsoever. And that is really, really nice when you're working with lots and lots of trains, because this is going to be a pretty high throughput junction, because we're going to have a lot of stations here bringing in lots of materials. We already have plans for the plastic and rubber train, which I'll showcase in the next stream recap. We also are going to have an oil and SAM train, kind of a mix oil and SAM, because there's a SAM node in a cave here, SAM node here, SAM node here, and then also oil here, here, and here. So all of that is just going to end up combined on one single train, which is going to be on this bottom floor. And then on the subsequent floor, we're going to have quartz. At the very least, we're going to have quartz. We're probably going to end up having a lot more than just quartz in that respect. And that is going to be a lot of fun in terms of junction throughput. So now, with all that said and done, let me go on ahead and send myself over along the train track that we made to the oil. And you can see that path reserving the path there, that path signal doing that, and then all the block signals are turning red as I go through, because it will only ever allow one train per block to happen. So, ow, my finger would not pop there. What the heck that was all about. Yeah, there's a limestone up here. I didn't know that limestone node existed. That might have made this, like, starter oil stuff a little bit easier. You can see it does slow down when it goes toward the path signal, because it can't actually reserve a path until it's fully in the block preceding the path. So I might end up removing signals on, like, this section that happens right before the path, because you can see we didn't slow down at all right there. So that's probably something that's going to end up happening. But we end up coming the entirety of the way down through here. Somewhere in here is going to be another three-way interchange, because we're going to have a train coming along the coast from that direction, west. And then joining with this track here to go in this direction. And we're going to want to have that nice high-throughput three-way junction going on. And then, of course, we have another three-way junction here, because we need to send the train straight in order to get to the dune desert. Excuse me, dune desert that we can see on the horizon. But then we also need to have it turning to the right to go in for the oil. And then this is as far as we got at the end of stream on day 7. We were not able to go into, you know, the oil processing and all the things, just because I completely and entirely ran out of time. But this is where we're going to be doing the basic oil and then also the advanced oil a little bit later. And that is going to be where we pick up the next stream recap. So that is going to be it for this one. Thank you, everybody, so much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed. But without further ado, adios, sayonara, au revoir, hasta la vista, das vidania, evidizien, ciao, and goodbye. Please have yourselves a fantastic rest of your day. Get some sleep if you need to. Don't forget to stay hydrated. This video is in the bag, and I will see you guys in the next stream. Later, y'all.